Hello everyone, welcome back to Windsong Intuition. If you're familiar with my channel, then you'll know it's been a little while since I've uploaded, and the reason for that has been that I haven't really felt drawn to do readings, and I really listen to my intuition and try not to force it. So when I don't feel pulled to do a reading, I'm not going to. So you may see, gaps in my uploading times, and that's because I just want to make sure that the messages I'm giving are genuine and from the heart, and truly messages from my intuition. So that's why it's been a little while, and I didn't feel as though I should be doing a focus of the week this week. I wanted to do something a little different. So it's going to be sort of a pick a card. As you see, I haven't laid the cards out already, and that's because I want to make sure that if a card that ends up in one pile needs to be in another pile, that it has the opportunity to do so. So I've laid these out for you to use instead. So this would be Group 1, Group 2, Group 3, and Group 4. And so this is going to be an Ancestry tarot spread. You can find this spread if you do a Google search of just tarot spreads, and it'll pop up as one of the options. And this is a really great spread. I've used this in the past. So if you want to take the time to, if you need to, pause the video and just focus on which one of these you're going to feel is going to have the message for you. And if you feel drawn to more than one, that's okay. You can listen to more than one, or you can watch them all, and that's okay. So just take the time right now to focus on which one of these groups is for you, and then we'll come back and we'll start on Group 1. Okay, welcome back, Group 1. So if you chose this ring, this is a reading for you. I'm going to start shuffling here. This is the Shadowscapes Tarot. I really like this deck. It's really great for intuitive reading. So we are asking for messages from the ancestors for Group 1. Messages, the ancestors. Okay, I like this top card here. Alright, so this first card here is how your ancestors are currently affecting your life. And this next card is a skill that you have from your ancestors. This is a trait that you have from your ancestors, and a skill and a trait are different. If you're not familiar with that, I'll explain it a little bit more. This is an ancestral lesson that you carry. This is how you can deepen your connection with your ancestors. And if you haven't watched any of my other videos, I don't typically read reversals unless I feel particularly drawn to do so. And then this is a message from your ancestors. Okay, just give me a moment to look on these. And whenever I'm silent, I'm just trying to interpret messages. So right now I feel that Group 1, that you are a group that have a lot of your ancestors around you. So some people just, maybe have one or two that are very particular, your particular guides, but I feel like you have a lot of ancestors that are really involved with your life. You may be somebody that has a lot of family, but I also feel like you have a lot of just your ancestors are just really involved with your life. And I feel like they're really active in bringing you messages, and it's positive messages. And you may see that everywhere. Feathers, flowers, the odd flower petal just out of nowhere. Dreams. I'm really hearing that some of you may be getting little whispers, that you're hearing little whispers from them. And currently they're really reinforcing a lot of positivity in your life, and they're bringing positive messages, they're bringing love, and they're really affecting your life in the sense of they're just reaffirming over and over again how much you're loved, how much family you have around you, and I really feel like you're probably getting just a lot of little hints. Even if you're not recognizing it, start looking for those things, because I feel like it's everywhere. And so a skill that you've gotten. I'm hearing seeker. I feel like you're somebody that you may be somebody who's constantly on a journey for knowledge. You're somebody who travels a lot. You're somebody who can see things from another perspective. I'm seeing like definitely travel and knowledge. You're somebody who's just really good at it, just acquiring knowledge and seeing the bigger picture, seeing different perspective. I don't know if maybe you travel for business, or that maybe you're just somebody who, maybe you went backpacking right out of school through Europe or something. I feel like as far as it being a skill, that's not a lot of people are drawn to travel, and not a lot of people, even if it's not travel, just seeing a higher perspective, a lot of people don't have that ability. And I feel like you're really able to be introspective, that you're able to accept alone time to acquire that. So I feel like you're somebody who can see a higher perspective, and that somebody, even if you're just not a traveler, physical traveler, that you can travel in other ways. You can travel through knowledge. So that's a really interesting one. As far as a trait that you've gotten, definitely strength. I'm definitely seeing that you got a lot of one of your traits is being very strong and standing your ground. I don't feel like you get pushed around a lot, and I feel like you're able to acquire things around you or people around you that help reinforce that strength, and maybe that have your back, and you're really able to call on that a lot. If you're not feeling that for yourself, really delve deeper within your own personality, because I know you're gonna know that you're deep down inside. What you've acquired from your ancestors is a lot of strength, and this is probably something that's come through the family, that you've all just been really strong, stand your ground, not get pushed around kind of people. Actually, an ancestral lesson that you've learned. Give me a moment while I listen for the messages here. I keep hearing finding peace, so I think an ancestral lesson that may have been passed down is something that you've needed to learn to do, or your family's needed to learn to do, is how to find that the peaceful moments in the chaos, and the reason that you've needed to do this is so that you can better listen to your own intuition and your own gut instincts. I feel like, even though you're standing your ground and that you know how to be introspective, that in a sense this introspection hasn't been in a place where you're really listening to your intuition. It's been more of an intellectual type of introspection, and I feel like in your ancestry you've needed to learn how to find the peace within yourself in all the busyness, in order to really listen to these messages that come in. You're not always focused on the messages that are coming from the spiritual plane or your own intuition, and I feel like that's something that you need to work on. And I also feel like focusing on the little things, or even being a mentor, is another lesson that I think you need to work on too. I feel like she's focusing on this little guy here, and I feel like that's something that maybe you need to work on too, is mentorship. So you can deepen your connection with your ancestors. Well, this is kind of, going to sound really obvious, but just delving deep within your roots. Maybe you haven't really done a lot of research into your family, or found out stories, or maybe you haven't been interested in learning more about your roots, but I really feel like that's you really need to. A lot of people find their connection in other ways, whether it's through music or through hobbies or something, some skill that was passed down. But I feel like for you, it's actually just a direct, you need to connect with your ancestry by finding out more about your ancestors and finding out more about your roots. And in that way, it's going to help you grow outward. I feel like there's a lot in there, little things that you may think you know about your family, but maybe you really don't, and you need to do a little talking with some people or a little research on your own. And I feel like those are things that are going to need to be recorded or passed down somehow. As far as the message, get busy is what I'm hearing. Get busy, be creative, working hard. I'm really hearing just get busy, do the busy work. You do a lot of the introspection and a lot of the hermit time, so to speak. Even though the hermit card's not here, I really feel a lot of hermit with this one, even with this one. And I'm really hearing just get busy, get on it. The message that you need right now is to really just sitting back and being introspective. You've sort of done that enough, and now it's time to really get after it and to do work, do creativity, be active. So I thought it would be great to add to the message from your ancestors is to add a guardian angel reading card. This is a fairly new deck for me, and I really thought it'd be nice to add that. So what does group 1 need to know from their guardian angel? See if one pops out here. I'm a messy shuffler, so if you see them go flying. Angel of communication. Alright, I feel like that really ties in with this. You're really needing to communicate to people about your ancestry. So I feel like you have this guardian angel of communication with you because your ancestors are trying to speak to you, and they're wanting you to speak to others about them. And so I really feel like you need to take this to heart and start doing the busy work and delve deep with that, because the guardian angel of communication is there with you, and your ancestors are all trying to communicate with you. So the biggest word here obviously is communication. So enough with the introspection, even though, don't totally get rid of that, because that's part of what you've inherited from them, but definitely be passing this on, and I think that's going to have a big impact on whoever it is you're needing to mentor here. So yeah, group 1, let me know in the comments if you felt this resonated for you. I'd be really interested to hear about your stories, and have a really great week. Alright, goodbye group 1. Okay, group 2. If you chose this lapis pendant, then this is the reading for you. I'm going to set this up here, and I'm working off of the Shadowscapes tarot. I really enjoy this tarot. It's really great for intuitive reading. And so this is ancestral messages for group 2. What does group 2 need to know from their ancestors? Okay, this first card here is how your ancestors are currently affecting your life. And this is a skill. That is so interesting. This card came up in group 1. And actually, no, it didn't come up in that position. Okay. And this is a trait that you've gotten from your ancestors. This is an ancestral life lesson. And this is how you can better connect with your ancestors. And then this is a message from your ancestors. Okay, give me just a moment to... Whenever I'm quiet during the readings, it's because I'm gathering in the messages here. Alright, so this is how they are currently affecting your life, or maybe even currently trying to communicate with you. So I definitely think you're going to be... She's got the violin here, so definitely think that you're hearing or feeling connections through them, like hearing them through music, either songs in your head or songs on the radio, or you're hearing other people mention songs. And I feel like that's a way that they want to speak to you. You may also be a musician, and they're affecting you in the sense that they're encouraging you and they're sort of guiding you along in this. But I definitely think music plays a big part in how they are currently interacting with you and affecting your life. I feel like that may be a way even that you find a way to remain calm and get calm. And so I definitely think music is a big factor as far as that goes. And if you're somebody who does play, I definitely think that they kind of hang around, whenever you are playing. So let's see. This is a skill that you've acquired from your ancestors. So I feel like you're somebody who's able to give messages as well, through listening for through your intuition. You're able to give messages. I feel like you're also very direct and kind of a cut to the chase sort of a person. Whenever you're giving those messages, and I think you're probably, you hear it a lot. You're hearing them a lot. Even if you're not actually, I feel like right now you're not paying attention to those, or you're sort of blocking it somehow and you're ignoring it. But I really think you really should listen more, because I think you're somebody who is intuitive, and you really need to be paying attention to that, because that's something I think that's been passed down through your family, even if nobody spoke about it. If you're saying, oh no, I've never heard anybody say in my family about that, it may be something they just weren't comfortable speaking about, but I definitely think that's something that you've gotten from them. All right, so a trait that you have is I feel like you're a go-getter. You're somebody who wants a lot of forward movement in your life, and you just sort of continue on. Maybe you're somebody who travels a lot. I feel like, yeah, you're somebody. Also, one of the things that you may need to work on too is you tend to skim the surface and not pay much attention, because you're so constantly on the move. You're not able to sort of settle and delve deep. And that may be part of this, that you're really needing to spend a little bit more time, sort of settle down, stop with the forward movement so much. Periodically, I'm not saying you have to completely stop that, but stop with the forward movement sometimes, so you can get introspective and really find out what you're missing out on. Sort of let things settle for a bit. But this is something that I think you've inherited, that's your families, that maybe you're wanderers, or you're people that like to move a lot, or you're every couple of years you're up and you're moving, or you're liking to change jobs, or you don't like to stay in one spot too long, and it's causing you to sort of miss out on some of the deeper things. All right, so a life lesson. Give me a moment while I'm getting the messages here. I think a life lesson that you got, a lot of the reason why there's this forward momentum going is because I feel like you don't want to pay attention to anything that might be problematic, or a problem or issue or trouble. Anytime there's something that just is a conflict, or something that's just gonna take away from your happiness, that you just don't want to pay any attention to it, you're not looking at it, you're not focused on it, you just want to move away from it and stay away from it as much as possible. And so one of the life lessons I feel like that your family is needing to learn, and you keep having this in your family come up over and over and over again, is because you guys keep turning your back on any issue that comes up, so you don't have to deal with it. And you're really kind of running from your problems when it comes to that. And maybe you don't actually physically move away, but you feel like, if I stay busy, if I keep doing this, if I keep things constantly in my life rotating out with either chores or work or with hobbies that I'm not going to have to just settle down and focus on these. And it's going to keep coming up generationally. It's going to keep coming up if somebody in your family doesn't stop and take a moment to get introspective and let things settle for a bit. So I feel like this is a lesson that your family really has been needing to learn, is to, stand up, turn around, look at the stuff that's hard to look at and deal with it so you can get it out of the way. If you face it and you get it out of the way and you clear it out, you don't have to deal with it anymore. Because running from it, it's still there. It hasn't gone anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere until you get rid of it. So you can find your connection, to deepen your connection with your ancestors. This is what this card is. Give me a second. I'm going to look at it here. Yeah, I hear, sounds weird, but I'm hearing buried treasure. So I feel like there's something that you guys are constantly on the move so much in your minds or in your life that you're kind of glossing over some really big treasure. And that doesn't have to be monetary. I'm not saying you're going to dig through your attic and you're going to find some treasure. It could be anything. It could just be a peace of mind. It could be resolving something that's in your family that's been a big issue and a conflict, and it's finally gone, and now everybody's happy and your family's gotten closer together. There's something that is under the surface that's hidden that you guys haven't been able to get to, and I feel like if you can do all of this, your connection to your ancestry you're gonna feel that connection, and you're gonna feel them around you, and that relief is gonna pass to them. It's gonna pass down the line, and I feel like your connection to your ancestry is hidden and buried right now. So start working on your intuition and kind of settle for a minute and figure out what this is. The message they're wanting to give you is really be listening for the messages that they're giving you, because they're giving them to you a lot. It could be little things throughout the day that you don't realize, feathers or pennies or songs that you're hearing. They're trying to speak to you. The message that they're giving you in this reading is that they are trying to give you more messages. They're trying to connect you, all the way down, all the way up. They're trying to connect you from this that's rooted up into this that's in the heavens, and they're trying to bridge that gap. And so this is the message of this reading right here, is that be focusing on listening for these messages. They're trying to give them to you. They're trying to help this connection build. Yeah, so I thought I would add in a guardian angel reading card, because I thought it would be really nice to get a message from guardian angels while you're getting messages from your ancestors. What does group 2 need to know from their guardian angel? Group 2. Angel of Adventure. Okay. So right away what I get from this is that the adventure, even though it shows it in the card, the adventure is not out. For you, because that's what you do all the time, the adventure for you is coming in. Getting rooted. That's a new sense of adventure, and it's something that you've avoided. You think you're very adventurous, but you've been avoiding that, and that makes it the adventure for you. And I feel like the angel of adventure, when people hear adventure and they think out in the open space, doing something that's dangerous, really what it is doing things you don't normally do, doing things that may even be uncomfortable but are exciting at the same time. And for you, that's introspection, that's delving deep, that's digging into your roots, that's facing these challenges you've been avoiding. That for you is going to be the adventure. And I feel like your guardian angels and your ancestors are calling on you for whatever reason. They're looking to you to help break that cycle. And I feel like it it may be scary, and it may even be for some of you unpleasant, but at the end it's going to be good. You know, I always set the intentions that these readings are for the highest good for all who come and look at these readings. And for you, I really feel that that's what you're being called to do. So group 2, I hope that this was a relevant reading, and let me know in the comments you know, how this works out for you, because I'm really interested to know. So good luck on your adventure, group 2. Okay, group 3. So if you chose this hair clip, then this is the reading for you. And I'm using the Shadowscapes Tarot. And we're wanting to know what the ancestors are wanting to tell group 3. Reading for group 3. Group 3. Reading from the ancestors. Okay, this first card is how your ancestors play a role in your current life. This is a skill that you've acquired from your ancestors, and this is a trait. Wow, you're getting some great cards here. Okay, this is a life lesson that's been passed down from your ancestors. This is how you can better connect with your ancestors, and this is a message from your ancestors. Okay, so we'll take a look here. Okay, so I feel like right now the role they're currently playing in your life is through dreams. Some of them may not be pleasant dreams, but they're definitely dreams that for you to be thinking about. This is it's on your mind a lot. I feel like it's good dreams, bad dreams, whatever it is, that they're just they're currently really affecting your dreams a lot. So if you haven't already been paying attention to your dreams, do so. Get a dream journal, even if it seems really unimportant at the time. Write it down. If you remember it when you wake up, write it down so you can go back and look at it later. There may be reoccurring themes going on. So I really feel like that's right now they're really affecting your dreams. Okay, so a skill that you have from your ancestors. I feel like you're really magical beings. You're able to really affect your environment. This is through positivity. This is through acts of being out in nature. Maybe you're gardeners, but you're really able to affect your environment, both the seen and the unseen environment. And this is something that other people can feel coming off of you. Maybe you're an energy healer. Like I said, you could be a gardener. This is whatever it is. Through nature and through things that you can't see, you're really able to have a connection with that and an impact with that. And I feel like this is something that has been passed down, even if you weren't aware of it at the time. You've gotten this from your ancestors. You may even come from a family that's just very natural and organic in that sense. So a trait that you've gotten, yeah, definitely with nature. You're definitely able to focus more when you're in nature, and you want to be out in nature a lot. You want to be out in the environment, feet in the grass, sitting next to a tree, listening to a stream. All of that is just you lean more towards being out in nature. This is something that definitely gives you peace, and this is something that you've acquired from your family, and your intuition is strongest when you are feeling that connection with nature. So if you don't already do that, you start looking into doing that more, and I think you'll find a big change. Right, so this is a life lesson that you carry from your ancestor, and these are things that I would say are generational lessons that your family has continually needed to experience in order to learn. And give me a second while I take a look at it and listen for whatever I'm hearing. Sometimes it pops right in my head, and sometimes I have to meditate on it a second. Okay, I feel like something that you don't always do is you all tend to be sort of solitary, and you don't, I keep hearing the words calling on your army. You're up here and you've got this, army that's ready to go to battle for you, and you're just sort of up on your own little perch and not paying attention to how much you have, who you have around you that can help give you strength. You feel like you're fine getting it on your own or with your immediate family, and you haven't really looked to the people around you to find that circle that's really willing to go to bat for you. And I feel like a lesson that you really need to focus on that's from your family is opening up more to people around you. I know, the world and people can be harsh and they can suck, and you may not, want to have anything to do with them, but I feel like, you're in that sense of always wanting to stay away from them, that you're also avoiding the people that can help you out the most. And so I really feel like you need to sort of look for your tribe, look for the people that, really understand how you feel, and they, love you, and they want to be there for you. So also, for some of you, this isn't going to be for all of you, for some of you, you may have a tendency of getting ahead in life by sort of standing on other people, or jumping over other people to get to it. And if you're somebody who does that, and this is in no way am I saying this is everybody who's drawn to this reading, sometimes these things come through and they're for somebody very specific. You know who you are if this message is for you. If you're somebody who's done this is a lesson that your family has needed to learn to not do. Don't do that. Don't kind of step on the little people to get ahead in life because you think it's, all for one here. But yeah, for the majority of you, it's going to be find your tribe, gather your army. It's not always for battle. Your army isn't always there for battle. It's, also there for camaraderie. So this is a lesson that I think you guys need to focus on. Okay, so you can deepen your connection with your ancestry. Definitely through increasing your relationships, definitely outside of the family, finding that connection. Don't be so solitary, because I feel like when you've got somebody with you, you're able to do more. Maybe you're avoiding a partnership in business, or you're somebody who doesn't necessarily want to commit in a relationship, and I feel like that's something that you should be more open to, because I feel like that's going to, you feel like it may take away from your connection with your intuition, but it's only going to help you. It's actually going to help strengthen you. If you choose the right people, the people that are already there waiting, they're there to help encourage that, and they're there to help increase that. So I really feel like you're going to get a stronger connection with your ancestry if you start building these connections that are around you. So the message that I'm getting that your ancestors want to give to you is that there's fruit on the vine. It's waiting to be picked, and you kind of got your own fruit here, but you're get out there and look at what else is around you and start picking fruit that you may not have thought about. It's there, it's waiting, and it's ready. Be selective. Not all of it's ready. Some of it is. Go through and find out which friends, which relatives, which business connections are right, and don't be afraid to add those to your basket. So that's a message I feel like that they're trying to give you. It may be coming very strongly in your dreams that you need to be building these connections. So I'm going to add a guardian angel reading card, because I thought it would be nice to get a message from guardian angels along with the ancestors. I see one of my candles went out. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, alrighty, we got a jumper. Angel of Clarity. Okay. So yeah, I feel like the clarity is speaking. Look at how similar those are. Look at how close the coloring matches. This Angel of Clarity, they're trying to clarify to you through dreams. When I think of butterflies, I think of, dreamlike states a lot, and they're trying to clarify what they're wanting and hoping for you and what you need to do. They're trying to clarify that for you. So I really feel like focus on your dreams. That's where the messages are coming from. And I feel like that's only just going to lead to more happiness. It's going to lead to a change and a transformation for sure, but it's going to be a good one. So really focus on your dreams, because your guardian angel and your ancestors, they're speaking to you through them. So okay, group 3, I really hope that you found this useful, and leave a message in the comments, because I'd really like to know your thoughts on the reading. So good luck with your dreams, group 3. Okay, group 4, if you chose this peacock charm, then this is the reading for you, and I'm using the Shadowscapes tarot. So we are asking for messages from the ancestors for group 4. And I apologize in advance, one of my candles has gone out already. Alright, asking for messages for group 4. Didn't take long. Okay, so this first card is the role your ancestors are currently playing in your life. This is a skill that you've gotten from your ancestors, and then this is a trait. This is a life lesson that you're carrying from your ancestors. This is how you can strengthen your connection. And this is a message from your ancestors. So let's take a look here. Okay, so the role they're currently playing in your life. So right now I feel like you're not necessarily feeling what that role is. You're not feeling a connection or feel like you're getting messages. You're feeling very on the outside of connecting with your ancestors, which I feel like is why you're watching this video right now, is you're wanting to know how you can find those messages. And one of the messages right now I can tell you is that you think you're looking for it, but you may not be looking in the right place. You're actually looking down and away from it. The messages may be coming in a way or from a direction that you don't want. Maybe it's unpleasant. Maybe these messages are something that is gonna make you unhappy, but they're necessary. I ask right away when I do my intentions that these messages be for the greatest good. And so even if it's unpleasant, it's only for your benefit. And I feel like for some of you, you may not really believe in the spiritual, so you're not looking for messages. But there's a huge divine, message or messengers out there that are trying to get your attention, and you really just need to look up. Look up, look around, be open to the idea. Because right now you're feeling very isolated and alone, and they're trying to get your attention. You're not open to it enough right now. Even if you're asking every day, give me a message, they could be sending you the same song on the radio over and over and over again, and you're just not thinking that's a message. Or they're sending you, a rose petal, or they're, butterflies are all around you, and you're not realizing that's the message. Okay, so a skill is, well, obviously right away some of you are going to be musicians. But I also feel like for some of you, you're able to really play the tune of the environment around you. It's not necessarily music. I feel like some of you are able to take what's going on around you and just sort of master it. It could be words. You could be somebody that's really, a really great salesman. You're maybe somebody who can take what's going on around you and really turn it around to the positive and help people see that. You're really able to bring fruit out of whatever it is that is around you. This could be work, this could be a relationship, but you're able to just sort of play the song of the environment around you. And for some of you, this skill that you've acquired is actually music. You're actually musically inclined. So that's really interesting. I do know some people who are like this, who are definitely able to just take whatever it is that's going on and just master it and play its song perfectly. Okay, so a trait that you have is you're good at building connections. This doesn't necessarily always mean love. This is just connecting with other people. You're somebody who's able to just friendships, businesses, you're really able to get those connections. So you may be feeling disconnected from your ancestors, but what you've gotten from them is the ability to connect with the people around you. I mean, it could even just be animals. Just you're able to just build connections really well. Right, so a life lesson that you're carrying from your ancestors, and these are things that I would consider generational lessons that are constantly coming up because your family hasn't learned that lesson yet. So this is something that that your whole family is going to need to work on. And I feel like I'm listening for the messages here to come through. I feel like even though you've got this going on, even if you're not paying attention to it, you're sort of holding on to negativity and depression. You may not be speaking about it, and it's causing this heavy weight. It's weighing down your mind, it's weighing down your happiness, and I feel like this may be something that is actually problems with your family, or maybe a bad childhood, or something in your past, that there's something that I feel I feel like it's you've got all this going on and such ability to build these connections, but for whatever reason you've got something that's just sort of holding you down like a big weight. And I feel like it's things that you're not wanting to deal with, and I feel like this is something that's gone on in your family, that you guys have sort of let this boulder around your neck just sort of drag around, and you haven't really wanted to deal with it. And I feel like you have the ability to. It's sort of keeping you from really flying and taking off here. And I feel like a lot of that has to do with not focusing on divine messages, not listening to your intuition. You maybe you're deep down, you're a skeptic and you think it's not real, or you haven't felt a connection with any sort of a source, God or whatever. But you may be feeling like, maybe you're a skeptic towards that, and because of that you're not seeing these connections, and this is a lesson that your family is going to have to learn. Maybe you didn't come from a religious family, or you didn't come from a spiritual family, or your family told you things like that just don't exist. There's no such things as ghosts, there's no such things as fairies, there's no such thing as intuition, and so you're not getting that connection. But there's other things that I feel like, because you're not able to get that connection, you're not able to work through whatever this boulder around your neck is, and you're sort of holding on to it and not letting it go and talking about it and dealing with it. You're sort of acting like it's not really there. So you can deepen your connection with your ancestors by looking down and dealing with those things. I feel like there's stuff beneath the surface that you really need to deal with and focus on, and it's going to help make this flow a lot better. I feel like the flow is sort of stopped, and you have to look down and you have to open up your heart to it. Maybe don't be such a cynic or a skeptic. Open up your heart and let those emotions really go, because you're capable of it. And you're going to be able to release that. And when you're able to release that, you're going to start feeling this connection with your ancestors. And so the message that they're giving you is to stay focused on the positive, stay focused on your goals, stay focused on the light. You've got all this stuff going on around you, and you can get out. You can leave that behind and resolve it, and you just, instead of focusing on this, you need to focus on these good things that you've gotten from your family. Maybe you think you came from a crappy family and there's nothing good about them, but there are positive things that you've gotten that you can carry on, that you need to focus on and build these, focus on these good relationships you're able to build from it. And I feel like the message they're trying to give you is look up. All of these are looking down, like look up. Look up for the message, look up for the positivity, and keep your eye on that positivity and the light, and have all the darkness. And if you focus on the end of the tunnel, before you know it, you're there. So I'm going to give you a card from the Guardian Angel reading cards. So I thought it would be nice to add Guardian Angel message to your Ancestry reading. And so we'll see. What message? Actually, I feel two. Angel of Procrastination and Angel of Imagination. Okay, so I think that for me, that definitely, you've been procrastinating here on dealing with this, and you sort of, you think that, like I said, you're sort of a skeptic, the whole imagination, fairies don't exist sort of mentality. And I feel like, you've got these two guardian angels that are sitting there saying, putting it bluntly, get off your butt and deal with it, so that, open up your imagination. You need to deal with these issues and get them out of the way so they stop affecting your family, and be open to the magical. I mean, it seems weird that, you would think it would be obvious if you're here looking at this video and wanting a tarot reading, especially about your ancestors. You would think, well, obviously I believe in this sort of stuff, but maybe deep down inside, or for some other aspect of your life, your imagination isn't open. And open it up. Open your imagination to it, and don't dally, don't delay in doing that. Just deal with it and look to the magical. So leave a comment, Group 4, if you felt this message was relevant for you. I'd really like to hear some of your stories, and good luck on this, Group 4. Okay, have a good day.